my connections in LinkedIn in London and the UK and America to actually say, who do you know in Singapore? And they connected me and people on LinkedIn in Singapore, and I connected with them and said, hey, do you want to meet for a coffee? And because it's Singapore, everyone said yes. I go, wow, this is amazing. Because in London, people go, well, maybe in 6 months' time, if you're lucky, if the weather's right. Whereas in Singapore, I go, yeah, why not? It's 5 minutes away. We can look at my coffee. No problem at all. The weather's going to be good. You know, the UK, kind of 8 months of the year is shut off because it's too cold or dark or grim to actually go out and do anything. LinkedIn for me was like a real kind of like light bulb moment came on and said, wow, this is the place to do LinkedIn. And I got my first, second, and third jobs all through LinkedIn. Jobs weren't advertised, just through networking on LinkedIn. It is very much not what you know, but who you know on LinkedIn. It very much is about expand that network, connect with people. Like everyone here tonight, you connect with everybody else here tonight, and suddenly your network will quadruple and go amazing amounts of times because you get access to everybody else's. So Benjamin has, how many connections do you have, Benjamin?
About 3,000 plus.
Fantastic. So if you all connect with him, you get 3,000 plus second connections. And that's really the key. And then those second connections know lots of other people, and then there'll be about another million kind of third connections. And that's how you grow your network, because everyone in LinkedIn is about 4 or 5 degrees of separation. You remember, everyone know about Kevin Bacon? Everyone heard about Kevin Bacon? Yeah, you're smiling there. You know exactly what I'm going to say, don't you? So about 10 years ago, everyone said that every single person in Hollywood was connected to Kevin Bacon. And there was a game where you actually had to go through and say, okay, this person knows this person. Yes, Kevin Bacon. This person knows this person. And it's Kevin Bacon again. And he knew this already. And so LinkedIn kind of taken that on. And you had the 6 degrees of separation, but Kevin Bacon went down to about 3. And they work out now on LinkedIn and on Facebook, you actually have a degree of separation about 3.2. So every single person on LinkedIn and Facebook are about 3.2 connections away from somebody else, which is pretty amazing. It means you're 3.2 connections away from Barack Obama. Yeah, which is pretty amazing. You're 3.2 connections away from Richard Branson, who I'm sure is on your list of people you're going to interview for the next book. You should do. You should reach out to him on LinkedIn and say, hey, this is the place to do it. He is the most followed person on LinkedIn. He has 9 million connections on LinkedIn, 9 million followers. He has more followers than Google, Facebook, and Apple put together. Because people follow people on LinkedIn. People follow people like you. People follow people like Benjamin. People follow people like you. People want to find out about individual stories in a business context, and that's really, really key when it comes to LinkedIn. It is, again, about who you know and not what you know. But it's also not about HR. It's about content marketing. So Benjamin's book, from Benjamin blogging, for example, and you blogging or you sharing, for example, that's what it's about. Sharing it like this, but with potentially 414 million people, and that's going up all the time. And the fastest country in the world, fastest growing country in the world, is actually China. The biggest country outside of America is India. So the fastest growing markets are actually in Asia Pacific. Australia and New Zealand have very high penetration. Indonesia is growing vastly. People like places like Thailand, even places like Vietnam. If anyone knows Vietnam, the internet is so bloody slow, it makes Australia look quick. And believe me, Australia is like 67th in the world for internet connection for a reason, because it's terrible down there. Even Vietnam is probably faster. But there are 1.2 million people in Vietnam on LinkedIn, which is pretty amazing. So it is that kind of vastness. And even China's now got about 25 million professionals on LinkedIn. And it is the fact that you're not aiming for everybody. Facebook can say, okay, we've got 1.5 billion people on today. Fantastic. But that's lots of people you're not interested in. Whereas LinkedIn is all about business. So the fact that they've got nearly 500 million business professionals is absolutely key to their success. So content marketing is absolutely key on LinkedIn. It's how you market yourself. And that comes down to you having a personal brand. Benjamin has a personal brand. You do training on personal branding. You do training about executives. And it's very interesting to deal with some of those executives to find out whether they had a personal brand, because I bet half of them didn't. So, because all our clients are CEOs and founders and entrepreneurs, and most of them don't have a clue about their own personal brand. The whole Richard Branson effect. The PM Lee effect. PM Lee is fantastic. He goes out there and says, I am the face of the government. He hasn't quite gotten to LinkedIn yet. I keep trying to persuade him. I keep meeting ministers and going, your Prime Minister should be on LinkedIn. Because on Facebook, he's got 1 million followers. Fantastic. But for business community, he should be on LinkedIn. So that will come. He'll realise that, just like I think it's on Instagram and various other Twitter, he'll realise that things like WeChat and Weibo and LinkedIn are key to his success in terms of business and business community, and that's very much where it's key. But content marketing is key. So every single person here can publish on LinkedIn. You can publish, you can publish, you can publish. Every one single person, it's very, very easy to publish on LinkedIn. It's the largest publishing platform in the world. So I bet none of you actually knew that. It's actually the largest publishing platform in the world, bigger than WordPress, bigger than Medium, bigger than Blogger, bigger than Facebook. You can actually publish there, And it's really, really easy to do so. But the key thing is LinkedIn then market your blogs to everybody else on LinkedIn. They market you and your blogs and your thoughts, whether they're completely inane or whether they're absolutely fantastic, to lots of other people. If they're fantastic, like Benjamin's blogs, for example, you get them to read other things about what Benjamin thinks and his comments, his likes, and so forth. So everyone's got an interesting perspective on LinkedIn, but in a business community, in a business context. That's why when people share things on babies and weddings and religion and death, it's like, I'm not interested in any of that unless it's in a business community. So if you're in the business of babies, the business of weddings, the business of death, then I'm interested. But apart from that, I'm not interested at all. So, keep that for Facebook. It's a completely different medium. So that's how what we practice, and we tell people what to do in terms of, and we try and get people to understand that it's not an HR platform. It's personal branding, your brand. And it doesn't just mean when you're looking for a job, because that's too late. It's like going up to somebody you've never met before and say, give us a job. And they go, well, I don't know you. Where's your experience? Where's your credibility? Where's your depth behind you? So the key to it is you need to invest now in your relationships, because you never know where they're going to lead you in 6 months' time, in a year's time, in 10 years' time. And that's where you have to basically develop your branding now, and your personal branding now. Just like Coca-Cola and McDonald's have branding, just like Naira has a brand, although it's a schizophrenic one, because it's obviously slightly Indian, slightly Mexican, slightly something else. But it has a brand. So, think about the brand itself and what attributes like a brand value. What are your brand values? What are your brand values? Think about that in terms of how you then communicate that on LinkedIn. Because whether you like it or not, you're in control of your own brand. You Google you, the first thing that comes up when you Google you is your LinkedIn profile. And that's because LinkedIn have a relationship with Google, whereby they make sure that comes up. And then you're going, oh my God, the first thing that somebody does is look at my LinkedIn profile, doesn't have a photograph, or doesn't have a summary section, or has no blog, or has no experience, or has no skills. And then you let yourself down. So developing that, and it's all free. Most of the tools on LinkedIn are completely free. You can develop that yourself. You can market yourself through that. You're going to get headhunted, but you can also become an entrepreneur. You can find investors, as you said. You can use a crowdsourcing site, but actually you can use LinkedIn. You can use the data on LinkedIn to find investors, for example. We found investors through LinkedIn. We found connections through LinkedIn. We found shareholders through LinkedIn. And we found virtually all our clients through LinkedIn. So we practice what we preach at Black Marketing. We started a couple of years ago with one person in one country, and now we're 35 people in a dozen countries, including 30 people here in Singapore. And that's amazing. And they're all millennials. So you should come and talk to me about millennials, because we do lots of things about millennials. One of the best things that people love about working at Black Marketing is we pay for their hair to be dyed. So every single person at Black Marketing has either purple, red, or green, or orange hair. Correct, it's an entry requirement, yes. So you get these kind of like strange people coming up to you going, oh, I got purple hair. It's like, well, it's an employer branding benefit of working at Black Marketing. We also pay for things like, we had a concert here, Walk the Moon, and we brought the entire team to Walk the Moon at Fort Canning Park, just as a night out, because it's something slightly different. But millennials love that kind of stuff. And we do things like flexible working, for example. So flexible working, they can come in when they want, they can write blogs when they want. I get some of the best blogs in the world about 3 a.m. And it's from my editor, and she's been drinking some red wine. She said, I've got a fantastic blog for you, Chris. Or one of our clients has just done it, and she writes her best stuff in the middle of the night. So I never force her to come at 9 o'clock in the morning, because she's not productive at 9 o'clock in the morning. She's a nightmare at 9 o'clock in the morning. You don't want to see her at 9 o'clock in the morning. Take her on a Monday. It's just like she comes in when she wants to, she works when she wants to. As long as she delivers, we don't care. So we do lots of flexible work as well. So the other thing you need to do on LinkedIn is company branding. So if you have a company, you think about being an entrepreneur, you can basically launch it through LinkedIn. And again, Google will market it, Google will find it for you, and then you can add content to it. So it becomes your website, but it's more live because people can comment, people can like, people can share. So the final thing you do on LinkedIn, once you've got a personal brand, a content marketing strategy, and a company strategy, is messaging. So they have an entire platform called Sales Navigator where you can find anyone in the world, anywhere in the world. You can find investors, you can find clients, you can find employees, you can find shareholders, you can find media, you can find PR. Anybody, anywhere in the world you can find through the data on LinkedIn. Because all the data you input on LinkedIn can be found by somebody else. So that's, again, something that we do for people to actually find them the right kind of person through LinkedIn. But it only works if you've got a good personal brand. If you don't have a good photograph, or a good headline, or a good summary, or experience section, people do not respond to you. If you don't have a company page, people don't respond to you. You don't see your content marketing strategy, people don't respond to you. So it's key you get those 3 parts right before you start contacting people, because the impression they get for you, the first impression is going to be your personal profile on LinkedIn, your personal brand, and you're in control of it. You are in control of what you put there, so you have to think about what you put down there, because it communicates that in a very, very positive way, or potentially negative way if you don't do it correctly. But it's all free. It's all up to you to do it. And the more you put into LinkedIn, the more you get out of it, because it's a gamification platform. And gamification means that basically it responds to your activities, but it also punishes you as well. So if you go away from LinkedIn for a few days, your rankings drop. And so you've got to basically just keep on going. Every single day you've got to be updating or sharing, or sharing a photograph or blogging or something like that, because basically LinkedIn then reward you in the way gamification tends to work on other platforms, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so forth as well. So it's very much about the more you put into it, like any relationship, the more you get out of it. Right, any questions? Must be some questions. Yes?
Okay, you mentioned about CEOs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How could I use LinkedIn and get people to see more?
Oh, good question. We've actually got a couple of photography clients, because the one thing that every single person needs on LinkedIn is a photograph. So what we've done is basically we advised a portrait photographer who does lots of family stuff and corporate stuff to say, put a service out there where you say, okay, we do the best LinkedIn photograph for your LinkedIn profile. So you pull them in for like $99, and then basically they come all the way to the studio to take that photograph, and then he says, oh, by the way, we also do these family ones over here and these corporate ones over here, and they end up spending like $10,000 when they only come in for $99 shot of their LinkedIn, but they have a fantastic LinkedIn profile at the same time. So it's actually a very good way of doing it, because LinkedIn's also a very visual medium. All the top posts last week, for example, were either videos, infographics, photographs, or a web link with a photo. And literally, I can tell how well our page is doing, because the analytics on LinkedIn is amazing. I can tell every single day how my profile does, how my client's profile does, how my company does. If I share a photograph, like if I share a photograph of this tonight, I will get between 5,000 and 10,000 views on LinkedIn, on the company page. And it's absolutely amazing, because they love photographs. They just love seeing what's actually happening in the business world and the business context on LinkedIn. So you've got a perfect job in terms of how you can sell yourself.
Can I add a question to that?
How much content do you share from your work?
0.
Well, that's it. How can you expect, if you don't give anything back in a relationship, how can you someone give something back to you?
I have people sending me a lot of requests.
Yeah.
And I'm always amazed because I don't do anything. They keep sending it to me.
That's what you need to do. You need to accept the conversations, you need to reach out to people, you need to start marketing yourself as a photography expert on LinkedIn, but use that as a loss leader, or use that as a way to pull people in to do everything else. Stuff like this. You know the amount of events on LinkedIn that are marketed on a daily basis, and like they all need a photographer. Every single event I've ever been at has always got a photographer there, and you can market yourself through all the event organizers, both at a corporate level and people like Lighthouse, for example, and all the other brands, whether it's AmCham or BritCham or whoever it may be. They always need a photographer. So they need people like you. So if you have a nice portfolio on LinkedIn and it's all there for you, like any designer or anybody else who can actually share it visually, people are going to go, wow, this guy really just takes fantastic corporate photographs, and they'll come to you.
Okay, but I have one more question.
Yes, please.
Go on, go for it.
Okay, other photographs copyright protected, like say on Facebook, we have pictures going up, and then next minute it says that there's a disclaimer that photographs are.
Well, that's the risk you take, because even if it's even if it's copyrighted, there's nothing to stop anybody just taking a screen grab and taking it for themselves. So you have to be able to be careful about the kind of photography you set up there. Make sure your client's happy with it, but you're using kind of like 1 or 2 photographs, which normally clients are quite happy about, or maybe they're more general photographs, and they're just marketing yourself. You've got a portfolio, so you've got a portfolio you can share on LinkedIn in a business context. And that's really, really key. I wouldn't maybe put up lots of baby pictures or wedding pictures, but you can say about the fact you're a photographer and you do weddings and business events, but start off in the business context of events and corporate branding and personal branding, because everyone needs a great photograph for their personal branding. But then you can start selling them in other things. And that's really key, because you tick so many boxes on LinkedIn, you can target so many people for so many different reasons. It's kind of gold mine for you, so definitely should be doing it. Good luck.
Chris, in
Yes,
your
Benjamin.
opinion and experience, how useful is LinkedIn advertising in terms of generating leads?
Advertising is completely useless. Completely useless. It's phenomenally expensive. It's like $6 a click. It's the most expensive social media platform in the world. It's 10 times more expensive than Facebook. So we never advise any clients to do that, because it's a waste of money. We believe in organic sharing, organic marketing. So if you post something and I share it, you get to my 50,000 connections on LinkedIn, and then they share it, you get to their thousands of connections, and so forth and so forth. It's much better if basically, I endorse you, you endorse me, because then it gets to our respective followers.
Yeah.
It's more genuine. There's nothing worse than seeing on LinkedIn the sponsored posts, for example, they're untargeted, completely untargeted. someone tried to sell me today an oil rig. It's like, really, an oil rig? Why would I want to buy an oil rig, particularly at the moment? I mean, I know they're cheap and everything, but I'd want to buy an oil rig. So it's all about organic sharing. That's why the blogging works, the content sharing works. If you put something out interesting, other people will share it and read it and get to know you a bit better as well. And video works on LinkedIn phenomenally well as well. So if you share videos, not big videos, but maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes about your business, then people actually will read it and will share it, and they can view it on the LinkedIn ecosystem. So it actually markets yourself because your personality comes through. Because you've got such a strong personality, it comes through on LinkedIn through things like videos and these kind of events and performances. So, but don't buy advertising. Save your money.
Same.
Anybody else? Yes?
What about for someone who wears different hats? Like, let's say, take me for example, I have the dance fitness company.
Yep, brilliant.
And I have a tech company as well.
Fantastic.
So, in my LinkedIn profile, how would I, show that? Because
You put everything on there. No, more the better. I wear about 100 different hats. So I've got 100 different companies on LinkedIn, from being a chairman at the BritCham or the AmCham to being a founder and director of about 20 different companies, and they're all listed on LinkedIn. Because that way you're communicating every single thing you do. So somebody might come in for one thing, maybe the gym, the fitness, but then be interested in the tech side of things, and vice versa. Or somebody just might be interested in the tech and think you're amazing because you're a multiple entrepreneur and you've got lots of different businesses. So somebody might come to you and say, oh, you're obviously a serial entrepreneur, do you want to invest in this company, or can I get your advice on this? So it's about marketing yourself as an entrepreneur, marketing yourself as a kind of like a creative leader in these very exciting areas, particularly in Singapore, where they're obsessed by fitness and tech. And so you can buy the most exciting things possible in Singapore with your LinkedIn, and then that presents you in a more positive way as well. So yeah, by all means, put it all in there. Anybody else? Yes.
For her situation, would it be better to have a separate marketing platform for each of the company,
No.
or would it be
Per company, not for profile. So if you do 2 profiles on LinkedIn, the LinkedIn send the police around and basically delete you. So don't do 2 profiles, but you can do 2 companies, by all means, yes, of course, but you have to have a different company for every single company you have, a company page, and that way each one gets found on Google as well, and gets picked up, and you share content relevant to that. So the tech company share tech news, and the gym company share, or fitness company share fitness news, but have them all linked to your personal profile. So if I visit your personal profile, it goes to each of the companies you go to, and I can actually see a bigger picture of what you are, particularly on the app. If you look on the app, it's very easy to go from your profile, look at all your companies, where it's quite hard to go to a website because no one wants to leave an app on LinkedIn, LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever it's be, because it's a hassle to go out, go to a website, then come back in. Whereas if it's on the app, the LinkedIn page is there, it's very easy to go back and keep on searching or looking. So yeah, different company for different page for every single company you have. Yeah. Anybody else?
Hi.
Yes.
What about for the IT professionals? Because it matters whatever that you're sharing to the world.
Yeah.
You were talking about the pictures and all those things,
Yeah.
right? So, what is your suggestion? What kind of things that we can share it in the LinkedIn? Because Facebook is different, right? You can put
Complete.
your own ideas, whatever. LinkedIn is my profile. It shows exactly what I am.
Correct. So you
how do you want
you
to-
basically have to be much more responsible on LinkedIn, because it's about your personal brand, but also about your company brand. You represent your company whether you like it or not. And so you have to think twice before slagging off your own company, for example. You can't work for McDonald's and go, just had a McDonald's so there's a mouse in it. You can't do things like that. You have to think about the responsibility in terms of that. But as a result of that, you get a better dialogue, a better debate on LinkedIn, because you don't get the abuse, because you don't get anonymous people. So people have to think twice before actually posting something. If they debate and they want to disagree, they have to think, why do I disagree? What are the reasons I put forward, and how does it affect my company? So that's why you can sell someone like Richard Branson on for his companies, why his personal brand is so important when it comes to how he projects his own companies, how he markets his companies, like Benjamin markets his company, for example. I market mine through my personal brand. So when it comes to you sharing, you need to share things which you think would be interested in your followers, but also where you want to go in terms of your career. You want to go into becoming an entrepreneur, you start sharing things about being an entrepreneur. If you want to go into a different industry, start sharing things about that industry. And then you'll get picked up by headhunters and people in that industry and think, oh, that's interesting, she's interested in this area. And then start using keywords, for example, like you would do on Google on your LinkedIn profile. You get picked up by headhunters or by people like investors, for example, and coming along. So you have to think about what you share, but it needs to reflect your personal brand. And it can't always be about the things you actually do. It has to be things that are interesting to people, like the Singapore economy, for example, or the Asian economy, or what's happening in China, or things that can affect the economy here, for example, like a China slowdown. but they think that might be interesting to other people on your network. But you have to think about it in terms of how does it reflect on you from a positive point of view.
And also we have to know whom to follow also exactly, right?
Yeah, and that's up to you in terms of who you want to follow, who you want to read out to. Like this Piyush Gupta, the CEO of DBS, is on there, for example. PM Modi, for the Prime Minister of India, is on there, for example. PM Abe from Japan's on there. Mike Smith of ANZ's on there. So there's lots of Asian entrepreneurs, lots of Asian leaders on there. There's also, as you pointed out, somebody else pointed out, Barack Obama's on there. And Barack Obama is obviously has lots of connections, and obviously he writes every single thing he thinks about on LinkedIn because he doesn't have time to do anything else. No, he doesn't. Obviously, he has a team of people writing his stuff on LinkedIn. As Benjamin will do it one day. We have a whole team of people doing it.
I need to beat my arm.
But yes, you have to follow the right people, connect with the right people. Like if you connect with everybody here today, you'll get some fantastic connections. You'll see their content. You can start sharing with them, and vice versa. They get access to you. Find out more about you. They can ask you for introductions to the people. You can ask them for introductions to the people. It's just like a networking. All in LinkedIn is just networking, but it's virtual as opposed to offline.
Okay.
Anybody else? Well, thank you very much for sharing. Do look me up on LinkedIn. If you haven't got a LinkedIn profile, start one.